This is Federalist 11, Part 5. It may perhaps be replied to this that whether the states are united or disunited, there would still be an intimate intercourse between them, which would answer the same ends. But this intercourse would be fettered, interrupted, and narrowed by a multiplicity of causes, which in the course of these papers have been amply detailed. A unity of commercial as well as political interests can only result from a unity of government. So those are the catch phrases that you need to remember about this Federalist Papers. This Federalist Paper, a unity of commercial as well as political interests can only result from a unity of government. There are other points of view in which the subject might be placed of a striking and animating kind, but they would lead us too far into the regions of futurity and would involve topics not proper for a newspaper discussion. Saying we want to talk more, but we can't discuss it here in a newspaper article, because that's what Federalist Papers were. They were essays published in newspapers. Because we need another place to talk about it. I shall briefly observe that our situation invites and our interests prompt us to aim at an ascendant in the system of American affairs. The world may politically as well as geographically be divided into 4 parts, each having a distinct set of interests. Okay, this is important. See what he says in this paragraph. And remember, this is 230 years ago. Unhappily for the other 3, Europe, by her arms and by her negotiations, by force and by fraud, has in different degrees extended her dominion over them all. Africa, Asia, and America have successively felt her domination. So he divides the world into 4 parts. He says Africa, Asia, and America, but he's talking about Central and South America. He's saying North America has not yet fallen, at least where we are living. He says in the Americas that we live, has not yet fallen to her absolute domination. Because Europe was going around, European countries were going around and colonizing all these continents. And he's reminding his countrymen that if we do not unite, Europeans will treat us the same way as they've done the people that live in Africa and Asia and Latin America and South America. The superiority she has long maintained has tempted her to plume herself as the mistress of the world and to consider the rest of mankind as created for her benefit. Men admired as profound philosophers have in direct terms attributed to her inhabitants a physical superiority and have greatly asserted that all animals, and with them the human species, degenerate in America, that even dogs cease to bark after having breathed a while in our atmosphere. He's saying that there are writers, especially there were 2 writers in Europe, one of them whose name was Raynal, R-A-Y-N-A-L, and the other one Buffon, B-U-F-F-O-N. They were saying that species degenerate. everything gets worse in the new continent. And he says they're making fun of us and they want to come and conquer and colonize us because they look at us as a subspecies. They say even our dogs cannot bark. So he's telling his countrymen this, says beware, this is what these European empires, what these European monarchs have in mind. If we do not unite, they will look at us as weak. They will look even at us as a lower species, and they will treat us accordingly. Facts have too long supported these arrogant pretensions of the Europeans. It belongs to us to vindicate the honor of the human race and to teach that assuming brother moderation. So he wants Americans to teach Europeans a lesson, to show them they're wrong. This union will add another victim to his triumphs. If we stay disunited, we will be a victim to them. They will win here just like they have won in Asia and Africa. Let Americans disdain to be the instruments of European greatness. Let the 13 states, bound together in a strict and indissoluble union, concur in erecting one great American system superior to the control of all transatlantic force or influence and able to dictate the terms of connection between the old and the new world. Let us, by staying united and strong, show them that we set the terms too. We tell you how to treat us, how to deal with us, and it has to be done fairly. So, united, we will be stronger, we will have lots of resources, and European powers cannot count us out. Okay, I hope you remember that I've asked you, make sure that at least the first time you have the text of the Federalist in front of you, whether it's a book or whether it's on your computer screen. Make sure you read along with me, because it is difficult to understand this if you're listening to it for the first time, just by listening to me or anybody else reading it. It's good to have the text in front of you. So please, on your computer, look at some maps that show you the rivers of the United States, the big ones, and kind of be familiar with them, because the size, the vastness of America is one thing you have to remember. Look at the map of Western Europe and see it'll fit right around here, this part of America. Almost the same size as this area. And that should tell you how vast this country is, because the amount of land and resources that have been available to Americans is one of the important ways that America's history has been shaped in, American civilization has been shaped by, and it's good to remember that. It's very important.